Thymesia is a punishing game in which being damaged really hurts, especially early game. This video will discuss all the different methods Corvus has to heal himself, other than resting at a checkpoint which will refill all your resources including your health, and respawn all enemies that aren't mini-bosses. We have a few other healing methods, which are potions, including general, long-lasting, and fast-acting, talents, including healing execution and short claws level 2, and plague weapons, including Scythe, Bloodstorm, and the Revitalizing upgrade of Vile Blood Shield. General potions are available from the start of the game, and they give you moderate bursts of healing after a short animation commit, which causes you to slow walk if done while moving, and which you can be hit out of. As a balanced potion that's in between the other two, for most players there's not much reason to switch off of this unless you want to heavily specialize into a certain playstyle. Until you get long-lasting potions, a nice recipe to use with general potions is Circulation, which gives you some minor healing over time. With this recipe you'll get the upfront health burst, but also get some lingering regen as you keep running around after. Long-lasting potions don't heal much upfront, but they heal a lot more in total over time. Once you use one, you're making a long-term investment into your health bar, and you have to stay alive as the potion does its work. This can sometimes provide access to a more aggressive playstyle that favors hit trading, since long-lasting potions will often grant more healing than your health bar can actually store. This means that to get the most value out of them, you can use one, and then if you feel you won't be one-hit killed by the enemy, unleash your offense, since you know you'll heal whatever minor damage they deal to you. Long-lasting potions are good for fighting groups of enemies, or bosses that you anticipate will hit you with difficult to avoid, but not sustained or fatal damage. Long-lasting potions get a lot of value out of the 4 Thieves Vinegar recipe, which increases your max health by 100 for an amount of time. This combination of potion and recipe lets you overheal to an amount that you normally wouldn't be able to. Fast-acting potions are good for the panicked player. You can often fast potion while you're right in an enemy's face and still manage to deflect whatever attacks are coming up, because Corvus both activates it and recovers from it very quickly. The downside is they heal less than general potions. You do get a lot of them though. Fast-acting potions get a lot of value out of any recipe that gives you a buff you want to access many times. For example, Refreshing, which refills your energy bar over time. For builds that use a lot of energy, like Plague Weapon heavy builds, this is a great combination. A good example is a bow or knife heavy playstyle. Both of these consume a lot of energy because you'll be using them constantly, so having a way to get back lots of energy in the middle of long fights against a boss is great. Mini-bosses slain for the first time drop alchemy enhancers, which allow you to upgrade a potion's properties. Upgrading a potion's ingredient slots allows you to start slotting various herbs or spices into them, to give that potion a minor stat boost whenever you use one. There are 12 of these ingredients and their effects are on the screen right now. Note that enemies will drop many ingredients as you play, including duplicates of ones you already have. How strong an ingredient is will be random. For example, you can have 2 basils in your inventory, one that's plus 3% damage and one that's plus 4% damage. They're the same ingredient, but they rolled with different stats. When you fully upgrade a potion's ingredient slots to the maximum of 3, you can begin discovering potion recipes, which are a combination of 3 different ingredients that have a much stronger effect than individual ingredients do. Potion recipes have a fixed effect and are not random, though the buffs you get from the individual herbs or spices still matter, so when you're slotting ingredients for a recipe, use the best ones you have. There are 8 recipes in Thymesia. Their effects and ingredients are on the screen, courtesy of GameSpot. The healing execution talent will give you some health every time you execute an enemy, which is great for general exploration because you'll be encountering many enemies, and being able to get some health back for each one you kill means that you'll be taxing your potion stock less, while still being able to sustain yourself and push forward. Healing execution lets you take minor damage or make small mistakes while exploring, and not need to worry much since you can just recover health on every kill. Short claws are another way to heal without using a potion. At level 1, Short Claw changes the animation, range, and speed of your claw button to be a short-range, fast-paced attack flow. In addition, attacking with Short Claws builds offensive stacks, up to a maximum of 5. At level 2, whenever you have 5 stacks of offense, hitting any enemy with Short Claw while that buff is still active not only refreshes the buff, it starts healing you a small amount for each claw swipe you land. A great way to heal with this is to find a weak fodder enemy that's alone, and start clawing them without damaging their white health. This way they won't die while you refill your life bar, and because they're a minor foe, they shouldn't deflect or have any response to you doing this, being locked in hit stun until you're good and done leeching off of them. This will also tax your potions less, and is another good exploration talent. Aside from this though, Short Claw healing is a great bit of extra sustain in boss fights. where healing execution is not something you can use throughout the fight, and is only available when changing phases. Short Claw bypasses this limitation, since the healing from it is usable anytime you can land claw swipes. The Short Dodge level 2 talent builds offensive stacks as well, so pairing these two together will speed up how soon you can start healing from clawing an enemy. There are 3 plague weapons that are reliable sources of healing, which we'll touch on now. All 3 of them are acquired in the second area of the game, the Royal Gardens. 2 of them are boss weapons, and 1 of them comes from an optional boss that you won't encounter unless you do the Royal Garden subquests. First up we have the Scythe. Scythes come from farmers or gardeners. They're basically the Royal Garden's equivalent of the peasants or hopeless who use axes. Hitting an enemy with the Scythe will steal some health from them, refilling your own life bar a bit. Upgrading the Scythe with more skill shards gives you access to a double slash if you press the activation button twice or mash it when you're casting. This heals you even more since you get healing from both slashes. Scythe combines well with healing execution, even if you don't have it unlocked as an equipable plague weapon. If you're a bit damaged, you can stealth reave a Scythe from a farmer before they've noticed you, down them, slash them with the Scythe, and then execute them with a saber or claw attack. Downed enemies are not executed when hit by a plague weapon, so this lets you get free, safe healing from this enemy with your Scythe, and then double dip on some more healing from your execution. If you want to heal even more, you can have Scythe slotted as an equipped plague weapon and reave it from a farmer. You can down them, slash them with your reaved Scythe, slash with your equipped Scythe, and then healing execute. This is a way to get double slash amounts of healing without having that upgrade yet. This is usually why it's easiest to sustain yourself throughout exploration in the Royal Gardens. There are lots of farmers to reave a Scythe from in this part of the game, and that translates to some free healing. Bloodstorm is a plague weapon that comes from the main boss of the Royal Gardens. Reaving it from this enemy or slotting it as an equipped weapon when you've killed that boss just lets you heal. It's that simple. The equipped version expends a big chunk of energy for some healing, so if you've been good about clawing enemies a lot and have a way to refill your energy, this is a great heal to use when you're out of potions, or even when you still have some instead of spending one. There's not much else to say about this as far as healing is concerned. It has some other functions, but this video doesn't talk about them. The final plague weapon that can heal you is Vile Blood Shield from the Sound of the Abyss, which is the Royal Garden's optional boss. The catch is that it only heals you once you have its upgraded form, and to get that you're gonna have to kill this boss several times. The good news, and what helps, is that bosses always drop their skill shards no matter what, and they always drop enough to upgrade a plague weapon an entire tier on every single kill. This means you don't need to farm bosses as much as you would need to farm normal enemies. One win is one upgrade. Vile Blood Shield spends some of your health to begin with, but the Revitalizing buff takes effect once the shield is lost, either due to its timer running out or enemies breaking it once it's absorbed 200 damage. Once that happens, you will gain HP over time, although it is tedious to unlock as you'll need to re-kill a boss that isn't particularly exciting to fight and which you must run through an area leading up to in order to access every time. Still, if you're finding a certain part of Hermes' Fortress or later subquests too difficult for some reason, this can be a way to make it much easier for yourself. These have been the various healing methods the player has access to in Thymesia. I'm pretty sure I got them all, but if I missed one, please leave it in comments down below so you can help people out. Thank you so much for watching, may fog shroud you, and may the night keep you safe.